Hey, today's my English test for TOEFL 2019, October 13th. And today I practice as follow: integrated speaking part 2, the one, and the conversation between the students and the opinion for the mostly university suggestion. And I also study practice listening, conversation 1 and lecture 1. And I also saw the reading passage. Yeah, 2 types of reading passage. And regarding integrated speaking, it was great. I think it was great. I could understand reading passage and listening, and I was a little bit danger but close, but I could speak fluently in the time. And I also practice independent speaking too, and that was I still need a little bit of time to get used to it, but I think it's okay. And as for listening part, listening part is still difficult, but maybe I'm getting used to it. And my average is over 80%. You mean mostly I got correct 4 or 5 out of 6, but still I could mostly understand what the lecture and the professors say, but still it is very difficult to answer. You mean select the right question. Like sometimes the questions are very difficult to select. Like I always wonder which is right. Like there are 4 questions. 2 questions are clearly, apparently, no, not apparently, but clearly and evident to be wrong. But the left 1 is a little bit difficult to choice. And the reading part, yep, I still need a lot of problem. I still have a lot of problem, but I'm getting a little bit stable, but not a good grade. Like the average is mostly 60%, around 60%. Yeah, when it goes bad, it becomes 60% or 55%. But if it becomes well, it became 70%. But even though my even though I got a great, even though I felt that I did well, the maximum score is always like no more than 70 or 80%. So there are only 6 or 5 days left, but I want to keep on and study at the end of the TOEFL test. Yeah, I don't want to give up, and I think it's gonna be very difficult for me to get a good score in reading, but I don't want to give up. I want to practice until the day I took TOEFL. And today I studied geology. You mean I've been studying geology a lot of times, but you mean the TOEFL has a lot of fields or realm about multiple. You mean in TOEFL there are a lot of multiple fields or realms or sphere fields, or in each of the academic section. And I every day study each of the special or technical terms, but particularly I think geology is I felt that geology is very important, and this is because a lot of academic section or field, namely to the scientific one, is mostly connected to soil. In the biology or biology, mostly they told history of the biology. In the history, the biology, they always mention or refers sediment and some fossils, and my Siri has activated, but anyway, mostly the biology or botany. They also mention about the fossils or like kind of sediments. So that means it is connected to geology and ecology. It is about ecosystem. So most ecosystem always refers geology, and think about archaeology. Archaeology also mentions some sediments or fossils, or like excavating, because it always excavating something, and like even a historical thing. Sometimes like anthropology or about old, like mentioning about old people or culture. They always mention about where they live and what kind of place they live, and they also refers the places or the land, about the place they land about they used to live, or they use it proper. That means they also refer to geology. So I think many fields is connected or associated to geology, because a lot of things is connected to the soil or history or old things. Most things mentioned about the history, and the history always associated to something living place or resident or like kind of landscape, and which includes sediments and fossils and strata. So I think, so what I want to say is geology is really important, and it will be efficient to learn hard, deeply. So I've noticed this fact, or I made a hypothesis about geology is important, and I made this hypothesis last day, and yesterday, or I think today is the morning today. So I started geology reviewing and study again harder. There is still a couple days until the TOEFL, so I want to review and study the geology mainly and hardly again. And so much for today. Thank you for watching.